Greetings, happy holidays, and welcome to Helping Hands, our December edition. We're celebrating today. We're at Aurora Medical Center, and as you can see, this is our holiday Christmas show. We actually are celebrating because this is the beginning of our 14th season on Oshkosh Community Media. We're glad that you could join us. I am John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And I'm Judy Ritchie. I'm a community advocate and an Aurora volunteer.
We want to thank you, first of all, for staying with us for the past 13 years, and we hope you'll join us as we continue into our 14th year. This show would not be possible without our monetary sponsor, which is Aurora Healthcare in Oshkosh. They've been with us for many years, supporting us so we can put on this show, and also our wonderful set design by Harnix on 9th Street. Judy, it's Christmas. It's the holidays.
It's the holiday season, and we always talk about where people can give things, where there is great need. There's so many different places. But I kind of like to throw in a little bit of a quote that I found. And it says, "Christmas is a necessity. There has to be at least one day of the year to remind us that we are here for something else besides ourselves." And that was Eric Severide, a journalist on television for years. And that's true. It should be every day, but we've got that one special day. And it's not all about Santa Claus, and it's not all about presents. And it should be the spirit of the season. And with our show for all of these years, we've talked about volunteerism and where people can volunteer, where people can donate to, and where people in need can go. And so there's some really good things that are going on. And all season long, we've been hearing the bells ringing for Salvation Army. There was the Coats for Kids. There were all the other wonderful things that were going on. And they've had a very successful Coats for Kids drive. Donating has been a big thing for a lot of the seniors in the community, for the kids that they don't have to buy for anymore, right. All those wonderful things. The Helen Lord Burr always doing the ringing of the bells at Pick and Save South with her family and the matching grants that go with. It's a wonderful way to support the whole community, but again, the people in need.
And this show, we're specifically trying to look back. It's our memory show. We're a chance to look back. I remember growing up with going to Gimbel's or somewhere and sitting on Santa's knee, and I still have those black and white pictures, which evoke so many memories. So that's what we're trying to do, is evoke some memories today, too, of guests that we've had on or agencies that we've spotlighted. Another one that's really important to our community, especially during this type of season, is the day-by-day warming shelter. Opened up in October, continues through April. Doing good every day, a chance to take care of those people who are less fortunate than we are.
Right, and again, there's so many needs, and over winter, they're going to need the hand warmers, the foot warmers. People can sign up to provide a meal, even needing coats and things there.
And socks. They just talked about
Absolutely.
Again how they need socks, because the customers who come in, the guests who come in, their feet are wet, their feet are cold, and they need those socks. Another interesting thing, it only can take 24 guests a night. So if you're number 25,
you're out of luck. And they may be able to give you a voucher for a hotel, but maybe not. And then they try not to send anybody away. They'll try to take them to a shelter in another community, or they give them this mat, and we had it on one of our previous shows, that's crocheted out of all the plastic grocery bags and things, so that at least they're not sleeping on the wet ground.
Right.
They try to give them a blanket if they can.
And a food voucher, too.
Yes.
I think Hardee's has been very generous to them.
They have been.
And they give a food voucher for that. So that's a chance for you in our community. It is the holiday season. The kids will be off of school for a short while. It's a chance for you to go out and donate still items that are really needed by them.
And another thing, and it's really important, and you and I, through our working years, collaboration has always been the big thing. And there's a wonderful collaborative effort between the warming shelter and Salvation Army, so that when the guests leave the warming shelter in the morning, Salvation Army has the side door unlocked, and they have coffee and a few snacks, so that those people can go over there, they can stay warm, They can, they socialize a bit. They've got the coffee, and it keeps them in a safe place.
And you talk about collaboration. We did not, I guess it has been 13 years, we didn't even collaborate about what we were going to wear, and look at us
And we match
and the red and the black with our wonderful decor. So I think after 13 years, it's just something you do. Another agency that's important in our community, and all of them are, but this one was a guest on our show too, is the Teacher's Closet. Their mission, I think, is simply wonderful because they're out there to help supplement all of those hardworking teachers out there with items that they can have and utilize in their classroom.
Right. And a lot of the students that are in those same classrooms are eligible for the back to school program and the backpack program. But when we hit mid-year, remember when our kids were growing up, and now I've got the grandkids coming up through. By the time they hit Christmas and New Year's and that point during the year, they've run out of those necessary school supplies. They need to have things replenished. Or maybe for some of these kids, they've had to move over the holiday season because they may have been evicted from their homes, or they moved to another community, and they just don't have the things that our kids have had.
And in December then is halfway through the school year, so it's a chance for us as a community to help replenish the items they need, and they will gladly take anything, because they take items that the teachers will use in the classroom, but they also take items to benefit the children. They will take Kleenexes, they will take pencils and pens and markers and books and all of that good stuff.
Right. And some of the businesses, as they are, how many do we know have changed names or addresses or something? And depending on what they've got, those supplies can easily be used in the classrooms, even if it's just for scratch paper or, drawing or whatever. And why send it to the landfill when somebody can use it?
And also then for our audience that is watching and listening to us on 101.9 FM, WOCT, you can contact myself or Judy if you're willing to or need more information on any of these agencies. Again, my number at Aurora is 456-7013.
And actually, I'm available by email, judy.richey@aim.com.
You got that pretty good from
I
memory.
did. I'm finally remembering it.
We wanted to talk a bit now about those wonderful groups in our community that support all the rest of the not-for-profits in our community. One such group that we have and we utilize very well is the Oshkosh Public Library. So many things that they do, but one thing that they do for the local hospitals, so it'd be Aurora and Mercy, is they give a special bag to every parent of a newborn. And in that bag is an application for a library card. You're never too young to get your library card, and little books to help them as their child grows. And I think that is such a neat gift. People were saying too, with this modern age of computers and e-reader books and all of that stuff, which I'm really not familiar with, because I'd still rather pick up the hard copy of the book, that libraries might not still have a purpose, but they do. They're a community center in our community where people can go and they do events, and they're wonderful. So we really want to applaud the Oshkosh Public Library.
And we could sort of piggyback with that too. While they're in the hospital here, my understanding is that parents are given a card. They can register their child to receive books through the Dolly Parton Library from Oshkosh Area United Way. And those are books that will go through birth through age 5 when the kids are going to school. So again, it's building that love of reading, building all those skills that are so important when they're in school.
And I like the thing too, as you take your walk now in the snow in the winter and walk through your neighborhoods, you see those little tiny
free libraries
that are sprouting up in people's yards and in businesses, which I think is really cool to see the neighbors working together to keep the books supplied in there and to watch the kids going down there to take the books. What a cool idea.
There's one at Franciscan Courts that the nuns have supported, and I've noticed other people are putting things in, the Stevens neighborhood group over on the east side, and all these other neighborhoods. And it's really good. It encourages the reading, some wonderful skills, some wonderful habits that stay with you for life.
And there is another plug to the library too, is they have a program too where for seniors or those who are homebound, they can get books delivered to them by volunteers.
The home delivered book program.
So that's
And-
something too, if you don't know about, call the library and ask about it, because especially during those winter months when you are homebound either because of the weather or because of maybe an illness or something, but you still want those videos, those CDs, those books, you can sign up and get them hand delivered
Right.
to you.
And if some are voracious readers, like one lady I know, when you know that there is a new book coming out, you can get on the list, and you're just placed on that list right away rather than waiting until months after the release. And I think that's great. And what happens too with that home delivered book program, there are friendships that develop between the recipients and the volunteers, and it provides a little extra socialization for that homebound person.
Which is good. It's like neighbors checking up on neighbors.
Absolutely.
Really good
Absolutely.
thing. The next group we have is the Christ Child Society. A wonderful group that I really utilize here at Aurora, and Mercy Hospital does too, in two different ways. First of all, the Christ Child Society provides layouts for those people in need who have a child that was just born and they don't have the essentials. In the layouts are the bottles, the rattles, the clothing, diapers, all of that stuff that a new parent will need. And the Christ Child Society supplies that to
They
both
do.
hospitals.
And they have work parties. They have work parties every month or every couple of months. And with their newsletter every month, they're also telling what type of items they're collecting for that particular month. They have a luncheon in the fall that is well attended, some wonderful prizes, silent auction or basket raffles and things. And they raise a significant amount of money, and they, whether they partner with Bella or some people maybe do more with the Bella Medical Clinic, those are all needs that are out there. Again, you as a new grandpa, which congratulations,
Oh,
by the
thank
way.
you.
Bryn, I'm sure, is already growing fast.
Yes, she is.
And
it's different than having your own kids too. I mean,
it
it's
absolutely,
different.
she's got you around her little finger.
Pink is my new favorite color. The other thing that and this is one of our volunteers here, Kathy Kahn, who is a member of the Christ Child Society. One thing that they also do, which sadly I have to utilize here, is items for a baby who passed away, either a miscarriage or a fetal demise. They provide items for that. The philosophy is they don't want a baby to leave the room and go to the funeral home in a cold, sterile, itchy blanket. So they provide wonderful handmade blankets. They provide even outfits,
Beautiful little baptismal outfits.
which I really utilize and I really appreciate. It's a source that sadly we have to utilize, and they do a wonderful job, and the families really appreciate it because it's going that extra mile for their child that was with them and is no longer with them.
And I know of one particular family that had one of those little gowns, and they debated between having the child buried in it or keeping it. And what they did is they sort of clipped a little piece that wasn't visible to go with the baby, and then they framed that gown. And that's their memory of their loved one. And in a way it makes you very sad, but the other part of it is the pride of that family in that gown and what it represents.
Right.
And so it's a really neat thing to be done. Something I have fun doing.
Yes, and I'll tell you what I do is I always just give them 2 outfits too. Please, so we won't tell the Christ Child Society that I just said that.
No,
but I do
but
because-
there's some of us that do,
Yes.
certainly are more than willing to do things like
right,
that.
and because they do want one as a memento to have, and the other one they want their child to be buried in. So I think that's great. Well, our wonderful directors are telling us that it's time to take a break. So we're going to take a break right now, and then stay tuned, and we'll be back for our second segment of our December edition of Helping Hands.
You've been waiting for it, and it's finally here. The 2017 OCM card is on sale now. The OCM card offers discounts at 22 Oshkosh businesses and can be used for the entire year. Available for purchase at Hardee's, Two Brothers Family Restaurant, and local nonprofits. the OCM card is still only $10. The OCM card is the gift of savings for the whole year. For more information about the OCM card, visit friendsofocm.org. Get yours today and support Oshkosh Media for only $10.
Experience Deck the Halls at the Oshkosh Public Museum. See the historic Sawyer home decorated in holiday splendor reminiscent of the times. The life-size Christmas Village exhibit showcases a festive display of themed miniature holiday trees. And at the center of it all is an elaborate wooden toy circus, now through December 31st. Kids admission is free, with adults only $3.50. Deck the Halls, a holiday experience at the Oshkosh Public Museum. Discover more at oshkoshmuseum.org.
Welcome back to our December edition of Helping Hands. This is our 14th Christmas together, and we've actually survived all this time. We have been talking about all the various organizations in the community and that need help, and a lot of the people who are helping. And one of the other groups that you have is the Linus Project, and they're amazing.
They are simply amazing. This is Project Linus, and I know when
It
you
looks
look
like
at this
trash bags, but it's not.
but they have no other way to deliver these items because these bags are so full that we need help getting them, and they deliver these to us every month. So this is our volunteer ambassador, Donna Walter, who's wonderful here. She takes care of the Project Linus for us. They make blankets for children, and we utilize them here, just as I'm sure the other hospitals also do. We utilize them in our pediatrics in our clinic and in our hospital. We utilize them in surgery. We utilize them in ER. Their blankets are so nice, and it's a wonderful gift to give to not only the child who may be a patient here, but the child's family
sibling
members. The sibling, because they're scared or they're upset, and they get to pick out their own blanket. I can't say enough about Project Linus and the generosity that they have, not only here, but donating throughout our entire community. And the cost that really is involved with this, because there is the cost of the fleece, or they knit and crochet blankets too, but it's, again, the time of the wonderful volunteers who come in to make the blankets.
Right, and the women at our church once a year do that same project and donate it to Project Linus, which then in turn comes. And then the pillowcases, the nice pillowcases that are done for, again, pediatrics or anybody in the hospital that's really challenged.
Yes, a unique. Who would think of that? You know, that somebody took the time. This is Lakeside Quilters, Lynn Mazinga's group, that they make the pillowcases so we can give them again. They're all for children. So either in the clinic when they're visiting their doctor, or in the hospital, or in the ER, it's just a nice keepsake for them to take home from their visit, to make the hospital not as a scary place as some people think it is. And really, hats off again to Lynn and her group, Lakeside Quilters, because they donate not only to here to Aurora, but they donate throughout our community to places. And again, we're talking about memories and making memories and having memories, and surely these pillowcases will do just that for the children.
Well, they are. Instead of having the scratchy white pillowcases, to have one that's got their favorite cartoon character or whatever, the bright, cheerful colors. And let's face it, the fabric that's used feels much more comfortable on their face, on their skin. Another group, the Knitter's Nook. And I don't have the patience to do the knitting anymore to that extent. But all the neat little baby caps and sweaters and blankets and booties and things, and they're available in the gift shop. And Renata, constantly, she sits greeting folks in the lobby, and she's knitting at the same time.
And I have to tell you too, Renati, for my new granddaughter, brought yarn back from Germany, and she made one in Germany and brought it back to us. And so those knitters are busy, because here at Aurora, we average about 50 births a month. So that's a lot. That's a lot of babies. And our knitters will make hats for the babies. They'll make our traditional Packer hats. They'll make Badger hats. They will make hats on
The Vikings occasionally.
Vikings, Cowboys, and the Bears. But most parents, again, want two. They want one for the baby book and one for the baby to wear. And we also make quilts that we give out to our cancer patients and our dialysis patients because they get cold. And these quilts are theirs. to have. I know more about knitting and crocheting than I ever want to know. I knew nothing when I came in, and boy, did they teach me. There is a difference between knitting and crocheting.
Yes,
There's
there
a
is.
difference between types of yarn, styles of yarn, manufacturers of yarn. I know it all. Well, I don't know it all. I don't want to know anymore. But I
And
do
you-
know it. And these ladies are particular in what they have and what they want to use because they want the very best as they
Right.
donate it out.
And one of the things that we didn't mention either are the prayer shawls. But again,
Great ministry.
right. And what I like is in the chapel to have some of the blankets or the prayer shawls available for families that have got somebody in ICU and they need the solace of the chapel and then something that is sort of a warm comfort along with.
And it's nice to tell them, too, that people were praying over this as they were making it. I utilize them quite a bit here at Aurora because they're icebreakers, too. You don't know what you're walking into when you go into a room. Somebody maybe got a bad diagnosis, or they're going to be taken off life support, or they're dying, and every family reacts differently. But by giving them this beautiful prayer shawl that was hand-created, it's a conversation starter. It's something that they can relate to and pray along with, too. So
Right.
what a great ministry that is, too. And remember, yarn costs money.
It's very expensive.
It's very expensive. So we always will gladly take donations of yarn here at Aurora because I always consider, too, that our knitters or our crocheters are already giving of their time to make this. They shouldn't have to buy the yarn. And like I know like a little baby hat takes 3 hours for an average knitter to make. That's a lot of time to do. And the Afghans take 30 to 70 hours
Absolutely.
to make. So that is a lot of work to put into something.
That's
And
why my prayer shawls, I use the bigger needles and the bigger yarn because it's a little more comparable to what I have for time. The other thing is we've got a pharmacist in the building, paints bottles and signs and things.
Stacy.
And everything, all the proceeds from that go right back into the Knitter's Nook. She's not taking it for herself.
No, thank you for that too. Sometimes I forget the good stuff that we have, and she started that herself. Stacy in our Aurora pharmacy here at 855, she makes beautiful crafts, and she wanted a way to help our program out too. And as a matter of fact, today she just gave me some proceeds of things that she sold, so Renati can go out to her favorite store and buy some yarn, and she always gets the good deals because she clips the coupons and she wants to get her money's worth. So that's perfect.
Another thing that has been very popular are the Christmas stockings that are made by the Wisconsin Warmers over at the Senior Center. And we had them for Meals on Wheels in the past. They come to the hospitals. They're distributed to all sorts of organizations in the community.
And those ladies and maybe some gentlemen,
There are some gentlemen over there.
must be really busy. I went to pick mine up at the Senior Center. The cabinet was filled and all the shelves were filled with all of the nursing homes and daycare centers and hospitals that they donate these to. And what a wonderful gift. Here at Aurora, we will give them to the patients and we'll fill them with goodies. And they get something to take home with them, or they have it on their door during the holidays when they'd rather be at home, but at least here they can have like a piece of home with them. So really, what a wonderful blessing it is to have them in our community.
And the thing is, the Wisconsin Warmers don't only do the Christmas stockings. A lot of the Christmas stockings are the scraps left over from the bigger quilts that they make that, again, are donated to the hospitals, the nursing homes, even the shelters. And it's just one more way of giving back to the community. And they gladly accept the 100% cottons, the leftover. I've taken carloads over there when I moved from my house to my apartment, and quilt batting, and again, monies to purchase supplies.
Because they're volunteers
They're
that are making
volunteers.
them and putting them together. This event just finished in time for winter, and it's the Salvation Army Coats Drive. Really, I say it's Coats for Kids of all sizes drive and all ages. I have to say that here at Aurora, we had to call the Salvation Army 4 times to come and empty out our boxes this year because of the generosity of our caregivers, our patients, and our visitors. And those coats are badly needed. You know, the October, November weather was deceiving. You know, it was warm and nice and gorgeous, but we know that winter is going to come and be here. And to be able to give coats to kids of all ages, which means adults too, is just a blessing. And here is my mother-daughter team here at Aurora, and actually they have a grandson volunteering too, Judy and Carol. And Carol has been with me for the last 13 years, as long as we've been open. And they're wonderful volunteers who again helped me with the drive, because it's a lot to have all these coats and separate them and all of that. So we really appreciate their help.
And one thing that's important to note with that is, with a lot of the Coats for Kids campaigns throughout the valley, those coats all get sent up to Green Bay, get cleaned and distributed back to the community. In Oshkosh, every coat collected in Oshkosh remains in Oshkosh. The prisoners out at Oshkosh Correctional do all the laundry, all the cleaning, the repairs, whatever needs to be done. So what you donate in Oshkosh stays in Oshkosh.
Which we like a lot with a lot of the fundraisers and things that go on throughout the year. It stays local. It doesn't go off somewhere. Even when you donate to the United Way, it doesn't go off somewhere, or you're not paying for, say you give a donation to the United Way or to the Aurora Foundation, there's no administrative taken off the top. Your donation is your donation, and it stays local. So that's really good for Oshkosh.
Well, and when I said the prisoners out at Oshkosh Correctional, they also have a wonderful knitting program out there that they send hats, scarves, mittens,
Scarves,
you
they are
name it.
really good at scarves.
They do beautiful work. And these people with this awful history and the things of beauty that they can create.
And it makes them feel good.
It does.
Speaking of scarves, we started something a few years ago, a hat, mitten, scarf drive. And we do it in the middle of December, and it goes through January, and it's to benefit our local school children. Because the teachers tell us that they lose their hats, scarves, and mittens, which I believe, because as a parent, I remember my mother putting yarn through, so we wouldn't lose our mittens in our jacket, or
the little
clipping them on. And the schools really appreciate this. So we do a drive here, and it's supported by our patients, visitors, and our caregivers, and it's to keep our children and our community warm. And so we run it after Christmas, because most of them have gotten their hats, scarves, and mittens before Christmas, but they probably are going to lose them. So it's a wonderful drive, because we really do believe in giving back to the community.
And perfect timing for all the sales after the holiday sales.
Right.
So this has been just a really great time of reminiscing and sort of looking forward to what we can be doing otherwise. Time and time again, as I'm out in the store, I hear, or different places, I hear, well, we saw you on television. What about? And I know you get the same thing. So we really have to thank Aurora. We have to thank the community for the support that we've gotten.
And Oshkosh Community Media for
absolutely.
their help. I do have to say, somebody came up to me again the other day and said, I saw you on TV, and I said, but did you continue watching? And the person said they did. So I count them as a fan.
Well, and with Time Warner, with those new little boxes that you have on the extra sets, we actually can get Channel 2 on there now.
Which is
so
good.
That's really good.
So we're glad that you could be with us for our holiday show, our December show. We're thankful again to Harnix for our decor and Aurora for our sponsor. I am John Neiman with Aurora Medical Center.
And Judy Ritchie, community advocate and Aurora volunteer. Happy holidays, and stay well and stay safe.
And peace on earth.